What's up, Vloggy Pilots? Vloggy Poncho here, and in this episode, I want to talk about interactions with neighbors. I made a really short video one time where I was listening to my neighbor's music through the wall, and that was, a couple people commented, it's like, don't be a jerk neighbor, Poncho. Don't be a bad neighbor, you know. You can't complain if your neighbors play a little bit of music, especially if it's not at night, it's during the day, it's no big deal. Maybe they're, just having a fun time washing the dishes or something. It could be anything. So you don't be a jerk and complain about your neighbor's music. And I thought about it, and I thought, maybe I should give my neighbors another chance. And they've been cool. I haven't heard any crazy music since then. So I figured maybe they were having a party or something. Either way, they do seem to be cool, because I never hear them, which is good neighbors. Seen but not heard, or maybe not even seen. That's a good neighbor. Or when they are seen and heard, they help you out. So I want to tell two stories. The first is just a little bit less exciting, but both I think demonstrate my ability to be a good neighbor. That's the theme for today's episode. Be a good neighbor. There's a moral to this story. So this actually just happened. I literally just walked in from the porch to do this video. I heard a knock on my door. I go out there, and there's a guy I've never seen before. I was like, okay, this happens surprisingly often, apparently. It keeps happening. People knock on my door. I have no idea who they are. That never happened when I was in the dorm. I don't know. It's a different environment. Anyway, I open the door, and he says, "Hi, I'm your neighbor downstairs." And I know the guy downstairs already, so he must be 2 floors down. And he says, I'm trying to introduce himself. We shake hands, and I say, "What's up? What do you need?" And he says, "Well, I'm trying to get satellite TV put in." He tells me this story, and basically, he's trying to get his satellite dish put in because he wants to get this certain program. But he's a Spanish-speaking guy. So this program's in Spanish. So he has to get his satellite dish to point at the right satellite so he can get the programs that he wants. And the technician is downstairs on his balcony, and he says it's not going to work because down on the first floor there's a tree that's in the way where he needs to point the dish. Now for most people, like English-speaking people at least in this unit, it's no big deal because the satellite for the English-speaking stuff is over here. Did you know that TV satellites are in geostationary orbit? So there's actually one spot in the sky where you have to point the satellite in order to get your signal. I didn't know that. I learned that today. That's pretty cool. I assumed they had more than one, and they just kind of were. There's always one nearby. I don't know, but apparently they're in geostationary orbit for like regions of the country. Anyway, so to get the English-speaking stuff, you go over here, but to get the Spanish-speaking stuff, you go over here, and there's a tree over here, so it doesn't work for him. And the apartment complex is pretty strict. You can't put your dish out on the building itself. It has to be on your porch, and so there was no way for him to get a line of sight on that one piece of sky that he had to be able to see because the tree was in the way down the first floor. And he says, would it be alright if they put his dish on the railing of my balcony because I'm on the 3rd floor, and maybe they can get a shot at the sky from there because it's farther up the tree, it's going to be out of the way. And I was like, well, at first I was a little hesitant because is this going to become an issue? Like, is he going to have to move it every day, or like something like annoying like that, or will this become a problem for me? Basically, is this going to inconvenience me? And I sort of thought about it, and I said, I kind of stalled, asked him some other questions, like, how are you going to get the signal to you? Apparently, they're going to run a wire down. And then I was like, well, I don't ever plan on having satellite TV, so I don't need that spot. So I figured, fine, that's cool with me. If I can help this guy out, no big deal. Because apparently it was either this spot or no TV at all. So I was like, I don't want this guy to get stuck having to, not get his television at all. That would kind of be a bummer if you move into a new apartment complex, comes to find out, oh, you can't live here and have TV. Should have picked another apartment complex. That would be kind of a crap deal, especially if he'd already signed his lease, which I think he has. It kind of blows for him, to be honest. Because when they brought it up to the 3rd floor, turns out because I'm on the 3rd floor, the roof comes down a little farther, blocks that spot in the sky. And the guy between us already has it's too low, I think, and he already has a dish there. So this guy is my neighbor's just screwed. And that kind of sucks. I tried to help him. Oh, it's a car alarm. I'm like, what is that? I keep thinking it's my doorbell. The neighbors across from me, they have a security system on their apartment that is improperly configured because every time they open their door, their alarm goes off. And it's not supposed to do that. So I keep hearing this alarm noise and thinking it's my doorbell. It's right across from my door. But anyway, so my downstairs neighbor got kind of screwed on satellite TV. And I think he's going to try and talk to the complex and maybe let him put his dish somewhere else because he has a different situation than most people. But I don't think it's going to work out for him, which is kind of a bummer. But I tried to help. That's the moral of the story. Be a good neighbor. So that was the boring story in comparison to this next one. Alright, so let me give you the setting. Maple visited last weekend, and it was really cool. We hadn't seen each other in 3 months. We spent the entire weekend eating cookies. Just pretty much baking and eating cookies. No, we watched movies and went to the pool and had a great time. It was pretty sweet. But we did actually eat cookies. I had baked some for her to welcome her back, that's a good tip for you guys. Anybody, actually girls too, your significant other will not be upset if you bake them cookies. Just putting that out there. Typically a nice thing to do. If you didn't already know. Maybe it doesn't occur to you that you can do that. I think people forget that sometimes. That's one of the reasons that Valentine's Day is a crummy holiday. Because if that's the one time a year that you do something nice for your special one, then you're not doing a very good job being in a relationship because you're only nice to them once a year. Anyway, and I mean really nice, like baking on cookies. That's a good thing. Bringing them flowers, that sort of stuff. Cookies are a little more original than flowers though, and they're going to be, I think, better because flowers you just look at. Cookies you taste. Anyway, second story. Set the scene. Maple was here last weekend, and so I was basically recovering from just a weekend that was full of activity. Particularly swimming always wears me out. I don't know, I guess I don't realize how much exercise I'm getting when I go to the pool. But even just treading water will tire you. I guess that's why people drown. But anyway, beyond the point, I was tired, and so I had work the next day. I actually ended up, after she left, I ended up staying up really late. And I was watching videos online. The LPer's curse is truly to watch other people's LPs and lose all your sleep. Nothing about talking and losing the quality of your game. Anyway, so I'm really tired, and I got very little sleep, and I wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Grab my glove. Anyway, I hear this noise, and I don't know. I can't place it immediately. Like in my dream, I thought, someone's ringing my doorbell over and over and over again. That's weird. Because that doesn't happen to me. When people come by, they ring the doorbell one time. You're like, hello, like, are you there? Is anyone home? No one just rings it like crazy over and over and over. Because it's actually a manual bell. It's not one of the ones where you push it and it lights up and a little circuit fires and electronic noises play in the apartment. It's actually a little spring thing that when you push it in, it depresses a spring. And then when you let go, it goes boing! It's really annoying, actually. The sound, I mean. It's not that hard to use, it's just an annoying sound. So I wake up to this noise, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm thinking, I'm dreaming about it. Does that happen to you guys, where a sound will penetrate into your dream before you wake up? Because that happens to me anytime I wake up to a sound. So every morning, my alarm comes into my dream, if I can remember my dream. So I get up, I'm starting to like open my eyes, and I'm a little confused, because it's totally dark in the apartment. And then I hear a beeping noise, like a fire alarm is going off. And then, like, the immediate conclusion is, holy crap, the building's on fire. And someone is ringing my doorbell, going around ringing doorbells to wake everybody up so they don't burn to death. And I'm like, holy crap, I've got to, like, put some pants on. And it's just like, I sleep in the nude, which is so freeing. You gotta try it. Just trust me, just try it. You will never go back. Don't do it in a dorm with a roommate, that's weird. Just don't go there. Anyway, so I gotta find at least some pants. I'm skipping the underwear, I'm going straight to the pants. And I can't find pants. I don't remember putting my glasses on, but I had them on. But I didn't turn on the light. I was really confused. I did manage to find some, I couldn't find any clean pants. I was in that much of a state that I did not think to open the drawer all my pants are in to look for pants. So I grabbed pants off the dirty clothes pile that was there, and I put some pants on. I turn on the light in the hallway, I go out to the door really quick. I open the door, and there's this guy standing there, I don't know who he is, and he's like, water! There's water dripping on the ceiling, and it's setting off my alarms, and I need to touch the water, and I'm like, what? What's going on? Sir, who are you? What's happening? I'm so confused right now. And I was really just flummoxed, and like, what? As I'm 2/3 asleep, just pants, no socks, no shoes, no shirt, and my neighbor is yelling at me about water. I don't know what's going on. I'm totally confused. And I'm starting to wake up, and I'm like, water? What water? And he's like, there's water coming in through my ceiling. It's dripping into my smoke detector, setting off my alarm. I have puddles in my you know. And he says, check your apartment for water. You have to go check your. And I'm trying to do his voice. His English was not particularly great. Come to find out later, he's not from here. Big surprise. But so I'm like, he's like, go look in your apartment. Go look for water. Like, check the shower and check for water. I'm like, okay, I'll look. I close the door. What is going on? So I go back into the laundry room. Nothing. There's no water leaking from the washer. Nothing weird going on. The sink's turned off in the kitchen. Go into the bathroom. The shower's turned off. There's no water on the floor. I don't see anything. I don't see any wet spots. It's all cool. So I go back out to talk to him again, or I'm walking back out to talk to him again, and I hear dripping. Where's that coming from? And I open up the HVAC closet where the water heater is. And it is a mess. The bottom 6 inches of the walls are soaked. There's a puddle in my closet for my water heater. I call it a closet. Really, it's just a vertical shaft that goes all the way through the building. Huge fire hazard, by the way. That just has plywood and basically plywood and asbestos between every floor. It's not meant to support any weight. Everything that's in there is on mounted stuff that's attached to the walls. The actual beams in the walls, not the drywall. But so my water heater is apparently leaking like crazy because it wasn't doing that 3 or 4 days earlier when I got the filter changed in that closet. It's also where the AC filter is. But and so I'm, you know, like, oh shit, this is a mess. And apparently it's leaking enough that it's going down into the next guy's apartment. Like, it's already soaked through the floor and all the stuff, and then the next layer of plywood, and just, oh no. And so I go back out there and I tell him, yeah, it doesn't look good. And he comes in and we look, and it's like, oh boy. And so he says, you gotta take care of this. My wife and I are going to work, and this alarm is going off. I mentioned it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm so confused. And so he says, okay, and I'm like, all right, I'll take care of this. I will handle it. I don't immediately know what I'm gonna do to handle it, but I'll tell him I'll handle it. And so he goes, and I go back and I grab a towel, 2 towels, and I throw them down there to soak up some water. I see one spot where it's dripping a lot. I put a bucket under that, and then I go online, get the phone number for the maintenance people. I call in. I go through like 4 menus. It's like, if you're calling about leasing information, press 1. If you want to live in one of our amazing apartments, press 2. For everything else, including emergency, you know, like crazy everything else button. All right, fine. And it's like, if you have and then it's like, if your apartment's being broken into or if there's a fire, call 911. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to call up the maintenance guys if someone's breaking into my apartment. This weird stuff that they put in these messages. But anyway, like if you have a flood, that's one of the options. I was like, yeah, that's me, I have a flood. This qualifies. It says, they leave a message after the tone and a maintenance guy will call you back. So I leave a message saying what building I'm in, what number I am, and what the problem is, and my phone number. And they call me back like 10 minutes later, and the guy says, all right, I'm coming, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna do this. And I, when I went into the closet earlier, was like, okay, I have to do something about this, because I can't just let it go crazy while I'm waiting, because I don't know how long it was gonna take them to come fix it, because they don't open until 9 o'clock. Like, the office doesn't open until 9 o'clock, so I figured I might call in and end up leaving a message, and then it leaks for another 3 hours before it gets fixed. And so I had actually inspected it. I got plumbing merit badge. When I was in the Boy Scouts, plumbing merit badge. Comes in handy. I turned off the water coming into the thing, just so if it actually managed to drain what was in there, it wouldn't get any more. I should have done something else and like ran a bunch of hot water in the shower in order to drain the rest of it really fast, but I didn't think of that. I did turn it off. Anyway, so the guy calls me back, he's like, hey, I'm so-and-so from this and that, and I'm gonna come fix your shit. And I'm like, thanks, because it is a bunch of shit right now. And so he shows up like 20 minutes later, and at this point I'm starting to think like, okay, when do I have to get ready for work? Like, am I gonna be able to go to work today, or am I gonna have to deal with this all day? And he basically comes in and says, you took care of this pretty good. And he's like, you turned off the water, you soaked up what was on the floor. It doesn't need to have anything else done right now. I'm gonna have the guys come in at 8 o'clock when we start our shift, and we're gonna fix it right away. And so apparently I like handled it fairly well, which made me feel like really like grown up and kind of like I was being responsible. I had made a good decision, you know. That made me feel really happy. That was really cool. So I'm glad that I managed to at least make the modicum of effort that I had made, and it worked out well. Anyway, so he tells me, he says, okay, well, it might be a leaky pipe, or it could be the bottom of the tank has gone out. If that's the case, we're going to replace the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. So I go off to work. He left. I got ready, I went to work, come back from work, I open there, I have a whole new water heater. Apparently the thing was just junk, and they had to replace the entire setup. All the pipes, the entire new water heater, which is cool. So I think the one I have now actually is more energy efficient, so sweet. But yeah, moral of the story, I took care of it, and my neighbor downstairs didn't have to deal with it at all, because he'd thrown down some towels, took up the water, and that was about it. His smoke alarm was still going off after he left and went to work after he talked to me. And so I guess he got home and everything was fixed. So I kind of took care of it for him too, because I told the maintenance guy about the alarm going off downstairs, which he heard through the really thin plywood floor in the closet. So he went down there and fixed his alarm too, and took some of the water out of the ceiling. And then, yeah. So I guess another example of be a good neighbor. Do your part. Be part of the system. You're part of the system. Alright, so that was Adventures with Neighbors and the time my water heater exploded. Didn't actually explode, it just leaked a lot. I didn't test to see if the water that was leaking was really warm or not, but I don't think it was. I think it was leaking like before it got heated. I don't know how that works. Anyway, that happened, I guess, 3 days ago. It was on Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning. 2 days ago, actually. So it's been a busy week. Alright, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed my little story. If you have any crazy, like, maintenance kind of, or like neighbor interaction stories to talk about in the comments, let me know, because I'm interested to get other people's opinions on these sort of things. And it's always nice to get other stories about this kind of stuff. I don't know why, but I guess maybe now that I'm living in an apartment, I'm much more interested to hear about like neighbors' stories. Because in a dorm, you have so many neighbors that you don't even like, you don't really think about it, because there's always noise, there's always music playing, there's always someone walking down the hall, there's always doors slamming, it's constant, so you don't worry about it. You don't have good neighbors and bad neighbors, they're just all the same, they're all loud and they're all way too close. But in an apartment, you can actually have a good neighbor and a bad neighbor. And so I want to hear in the comments about your good neighbors and your bad neighbors if you have any really standout examples. One way or the other, I'm going to stop rambling now. Hopefully you like the new lighting here. I got a tripod. Spent $30 so I could have my own tripod. I think it's definitely worth the money, because now I can have a nice bright, like lit room. I don't have to go where I can put the camera down. I can go anywhere where there's good lighting, and I can have a blank wall behind me if I so choose. Which is nice if I want to edit in stuff, which there won't be anything here. Just an example. I could edit in a picture if I wanted, or I could do Pokemon or something. I don't know. But I think I just have like a video, something interesting happening right here, so people will actually want to watch. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which I hope will be a song video. It's not gonna happen. Every time I say that, it doesn't happen. Fingers crossed. Song video. I want a song video too. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. I'm kind of sold there at the end. I try so hard. I gotta do something like a blues song. I'm trying so hard now to play a song. Just turn off the camera. Turn off the camera.